The vanity lights are burning hotter than the egos in the room. She stares into the mirror, red sequins flashing like a warning sign. In her head, she is thinking, I just unlocked a legendary skin. Meanwhile, the girl next to her is losing her mind over a plaid bow, convinced this designer is the god of drip. The vibe shifts instantly. It is a Shark Tank in here. Everyone starts screaming for Atsumu to fix their look. They are not asking, they are demanding. Atsumu tightens his grip on his loadout. Ruler, pencil, lipstick. He analyzes the room. He knows he is surrounded by diamonds, but he is done being the background texture. It is time to steal the spotlight. Here is the kicker. His family tree is basically a celebrity cheat code. 7 sisters. All top-tier entertainers dominating the charts. Then you have Atsumu, sitting in the dark, chugging energy drinks like health potions. He is stuck playing the role of entertainment assistant. In his mind, he is just the NPC support class. His phone lights up and nukes the vibe. It is a text from mom, a summons for his 18th birthday dinner. The plot thickens. He pushes the front door open and calls out to the void. The hallway is empty. The air feels heavy, like the server is about to crash. Look at this cake setup. We have got a skull topper with a knife buried deep in the gray matter. The icing reads, "Farewell, Atsumu." That is not a birthday wish. That is a straight-up eviction notice from life. Amana sits there, fingers laced, flashing a smile that screams danger. She calls his name, ready to get this party started. She does not waste a single frame. She drops the hammer immediately. From this moment on, he is evicted. Kicked out of the family server. No appeal, no parole, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Atsumu's brain just blue screens. He starts stammering, buffering like he is on dial-up internet. Amana leans in, her voice slicing through the air like a katana. She asks if his audio drivers are broken. He just stands there sweating, trying to process this massive glitch in the matrix. He stares at his phone. The text is actually real. He scans the long table, begging for a camera crew to jump out. He asks if this is a prank, maybe a surprise party gone wrong. The room stays dead silent until someone clicks their tongue in pure annoyance. Yikes. Tough crowd. Mutsuki, the idol, snaps first. She screams that he is a useless NPC. Muka, the model, sips her tea and calmly agrees he is a total failure. Then Yachiru, the YouTuber, hugs her plushie and delivers the ultimate roast. She says even as clickbait, nobody would watch this content. Futaba, the multi-talent, nods along, absolutely loving the drama, but Ione, the actress, goes ice cold. She calls him a half-breed, unfit for their elite server. Shiki, the voice actress, cackles at his pain like a villain. And Nana? She does not even look up from her phone. The man is completely invisible, ghosted in real time. The matriarch, Amana, leans forward to clarify the house rules. She clasps her hands together and drops the absolute hammer. Men are filthy pigs and they have zero business existing in her family. Atsumu scans the room, waiting for a single soul to object. Dead silence. His heart starts pounding like a drum solo as the reality sets in. He is actually about to get kicked to the curb. He swallows his pride and begs them to reconsider. He throws a desperate Hail Mary, screaming that they are the only family he has left. He pours his soul out on the floor. And the sister? She has to physically cover her mouth to stop herself from laughing in his face. That is cold. Amana calls him an idiot for even trying. She leans in, her eyes spiraling into absolute madness, and delivers the emotional fatality. She tells him straight up, they never considered him family. Not even for a second. She explains the only reason he was not sleeping in a gutter years ago. Grandma's will had a specific clause. Keep the kid until he turns 18 to unlock the inheritance money. He was not a son. He was a walking paycheck. She twists the knife, admitting it was all for the bag. No love, just business. She calls him a useless failure who could not even meet the bare minimum expectations of existing. But the contract has an expiration date. She flashes a predatory smile, announcing that today is the big day, his 18th birthday, which means it is time to cash out and cut ties. The room dissolves into a literal void filled with skeletons and spider lilies. She stands in front of a writhing tentacle monster with a cake that reads, "Farewell." This is not a birthday party, folks. It is a disposal ceremony. He spent his whole life chasing their approval, convinced that if he just grinded hard enough, they would finally call him family. But that delusion is rotting right in front of his eyes. He realizes the game was rigged from the start. No matter how high his score got, he was never making the leaderboard. One single tear escapes before he locks it down. He decides right then and there, if they treat him like a tool, he is done acting like a son. He tells himself to delete the emotional attachment. System reset initiated. The matriarch barks the final order. Leave the phone. Leave the gear. She wants a total information blackout. She stares at him with eyes cold enough to freeze hell over, making sure he knows he is leaving with nothing. He takes the disrespect on the chin, telling himself this is the last burden he will ever be to them. He sets the device down. Connection terminated. He thinks, keep the hardware. I do not need your tech to survive the wild. The send-off committee is absolutely savage. Ione is relieved, Futaba is celebrating like she won the lottery, and Mutsuki straight up calls him trash to his face. Zero chill in this house. They look at him like he is a corrupted file they are finally purging from the server. Even Amana is sobbing while telling him to get lost. Her hands are shaking, but the message is loud and clear. He analyzes her trembling, wondering if it is guilt or just bad acting. Doesn't matter, the result is the same. Most people would snap. Atsumu? He smiles through the pain and thanks them for the trauma. Absolute saint energy. Inside his head, he is already planning his comeback arc. You stick a fork in him, he is done with this toxicity. He torches the family photo, watching the memories turn into carbon. The fire curls the edges of the paper, erasing the fake smiles. He thinks, good riddance to bad rubbish. Phone on the desk, bag in hand. He stands at the gate of the mansion that was never a home, ready to walk. The massive doors loom over him, but for the first time, they look like an exit, not a prison. He whispers a final goodbye to his old life. Happy 18th birthday, kid. Your present is homelessness. Worst party ever, but hey, at least the guest list is exclusive. He is dragging that suitcase like it weighs a ton, fully prepared to turn a park bench into his bed for the night. But just as he accepts his fate, the universe decides to drop a cutscene. He looks up and gets absolutely blinded by the production value. The wind picks up, the lighting softens, and there she is, making an entrance so dramatic you can practically hear the background music swelling. But hold on, the vibe is completely off. She is not glowing with joy. She is absolutely devastated. Tears are flooding down her face like a broken faucet, and her expression screams that she just took massive emotional damage. He freezes, analyzing the situation. Sure, he is technically homeless right now, but his gamer instincts are tingling. He realizes he is the support main, and he just spotted his carry in need of a buff. Our boy is currently rotting in a net cafe cubicle that makes a prison cell look like a mansion. He just wanted a normal life, but the universe clearly decided to play on hard mode. He is weeping uncontrollably because his own flesh and blood evicted him. That is absolute betrayal. Homeless, broke, and totally alone. It is the perfect recipe for a rock-bottom disaster. So he stomps straight into the chairman's office at Yumakoshi Academy, ready to rage quit the server. He slams his resignation on Sakuya's desk, thinking, I am out of here before the stress deletes me. But before she can even stamp the paper, the door flies off its hinges. A wild student appears. It is Asuka, and she looks ready to throw hands. She slams her palms down, demanding justice for our boy. Atsumu starts sweating buckets. He thinks, please just let me leave, I am begging you. But he freezes. He knows that face. He can't say no to a coworker, especially not this one. She is not just some random classmate, she is the leader of Asterisk, the #1 idol in Japan. We are talking absolute queen energy. If she smiled right now, the GDP of a small country would probably double instantly. She grabs his hands, practically begging him to stay. Atsumu's brain short circuits. He thinks, my bias is actually worried about me? Is this a simulation? He is ready to simp and worship the floor tiles she walks on, but the chairman clears her throat to ruin the moment. Chairman Sakuya cuts the nonsense. She has seen his stats, and they are way too cracked for him to just quit. She demands the real reason. Atsumu tries to stutter out a lame excuse, but the air in the room suddenly gets heavy. She wakes up and chooses violence. Look at that pressure dropping the room temperature. She cracks her knuckles loud enough to echo, looking like she is about to send his entire lineage to the lobby. He better start talking, fast. Panic mode engaged. He spills the beans. He confesses that this school is for serious dreamers, and he has been ghosting classes just to work. He thinks, I am just a fraud taking up server space while everyone else is grinding. But Sakuya spots a massive plot hole. She asks about his management team, because handling 7 top-tier celebrities obviously requires producers, editors, and a PR squad, right? There is no way one guy is soloing that raid. Atsumu drops the nuke. There was no team, it was just him, solo carrying the entire agency on his back. Sakuya loses her mind. He was doing the work of 50 people and thinks he is unskilled? The imposter syndrome is actually terminal with this guy. Asuka drags him out of the room before he can hyperventilate. He asks why she cares so much and boom, plot twist. She is the chairman's daughter. Her mom had security watching him the whole time. The nepotism is strong with this one, and she looks like she is dying of embarrassment. Atsumu decides to drop a tactical nuke right in the middle of the conversation by calling her cute. Asuka's face turns into a tomato instantly, her internal CPU overheating from the sudden Riz attack. She begs him to stop before she gets sent to the lobby from pure embarrassment. He opens his mouth to double down on the compliments, probably about to say something even cheesier, but Sakuya shuts that nonsense down with a single, surgical cough. The room freezes. Playtime is officially over. She locks eyes with him, staring him down like a predator analyzing its prey. The air gets heavy. She has one final question, and the answer better be good. She leans back and reminds them of the new reality. They are free agents now. No more orders from above, no more missions. The only thing that matters is what they actually want to do with their lives. Atsumu takes a second to reflect on the absolute grind. He spent years carrying his entire family on his back, grinding levels in the real world while completely skipping the childhood DLC. He is done with the chaos. He wants that peaceful NPC life, going to school, making friends, and maybe, just maybe, finding a girlfriend who does not try to delete him. He grips his hoodie tight, knuckles turning white, and screams his desire for an ordinary youth straight to the heavens. He wants the boring life, and he wants it now. Sakuya smiles, and it is definitely a villain smile. She knows the perfect place to ruin, fulfill that dream. After hours of rattling on the tracks, the train finally puts some serious distance between him and Yumakoshi Academy. He touches down in an unfamiliar town, clutching his map like a lost tourist. This is it, the reboot button he has been waiting for. He only escaped because the chairman pulled some strings, arranging a transfer and a free dorm. Suspiciously generous if you ask me. Sakuya claims she was just being nice, but look at that face. That is the smile of a woman playing 4D chess just to mess with Asuka. Atsumu misses the red flags completely. He is just hyped he is not homeless, swearing he will work a part-time job to pay her back. Bro is too pure for this world. The next morning, he is practically skipping down the street, convinced the drama is finally over. He sparkles with main character energy, declaring this will be the boring, normal life he always dreamed of. Talk about a massive jinx, because the second he reaches the school gate, reality checks him. Something is definitely wrong. 2 thugs corner a quiet girl, radiating absolute menace like they own the sidewalk. She tries to ghost them, refusing to say a word, but the tension is thick enough to choke on. You can practically feel the air getting heavier. That silence just makes them hungrier. They lean in with twisted grins, masking a shakedown as a friendly tea invitation. Yeah, right. That is absolute predator behavior, and nobody is buying what they are selling. Atsumu spots the drama, and his soul practically leaves his body. He realizes this peaceful town is actually a danger zone, and he is stuck front row center. He thinks, great, just my luck. I moved here for the quiet life, not a street fight. He runs the numbers instantly. If a brawl breaks out, his short stature means he gets folded like a lawn chair in seconds. He is doing the math, and the probability of him surviving this encounter without a bruise is exactly 0%. He grips his bag so hard his knuckles turn white, totally paralyzed. Every survival instinct in his lizard brain screams at him to walk away and live another day. But his conscience? It refuses to let him turn his back on someone in need. Screw the odds. He shuts down his brain and explodes into a sprint. Someone is in trouble, and he is the only one answering the call. It is hero time, whether he is ready for it or not. Atsumu spots a girl in trouble. His internal hero alarm goes off and he sprints straight into the danger zone without checking the minimap. But the victim is just chilling with a smile. Before he can process the vibe shift, someone clamps down on his arm like a vice. The wind howls through the city, setting the mood. Two discount thugs are harassing some students, but the short girl is not a damsel. She steps right up and grabs a wrist with zero hesitation. Atsumu is completely buffering. He analyzes the girl's expression and realizes she is way too calm for a hostage. The math is not mathing, so he comes to the most shonen protagonist conclusion possible. He will just save everybody. His buddy is about to pop a blood vessel dealing with this absolute lack of logic. The blonde thug does not appreciate the disrespect. He screams and launches a wild haymaker that screams desperation. Atsumu watches the fist come in slow motion. He does not even blink, shifting his weight just enough to let the punch hit nothing but air. He snatches the guy's wrist mid-swing. Using the thug's own momentum, he rotates his hips and sends him flying upside down like a rag doll. Gravity takes over. The dude gets introduced to the pavement with a nasty slam. He is on the ground wondering how he got there. Atsumu casually drops the knowledge. It is called Kote Gaeshi, basic Aikido. He stretches out, mentioning he knows plenty of other ways to fold them like laundry. Then he hits them with the psycho grin. Absolute menace energy. That is enough for the tough guys. They scramble away screaming excuses like total NPCs. Crisis averted. The second those goons scramble, the tough guy act evaporates faster than water on a hot sidewalk. He wipes a gallon of cold sweat off his forehead, finally admitting he was terrified. Inside his head he is thinking, man, I haven't thrown hands in years, I could have been deleted. He knows he barely scraped by. Here is the kicker though. He didn't learn Aikido just to look cool. His sisters are famous idols, and fame attracts the absolute bottom of the barrel. Stalkers, creeps, and total nut jobs. He turned himself into a human security system just to keep the weirdos away. Talk about brother of the year. But standing alone in the biting cold, the adrenaline crash hits him like a truck. The silence is loud. He realizes that violent part of his life was supposed to be buried 6 feet under. He looks at his hands and thinks, I really didn't want to go back to this. A voice slices through the freezing air like a knife. He whips around and his brain just blue screens. He is staring dead at the girl he just saved, and the world stops spinning. That little rescue mission had an audience. She is looking at him with literal high-definition sparkles in her eyes, tears streaming down her face as she thanks him for stepping in. This is Himeji Tsukiyo. Atsumu was too busy trying not to get sent to the lobby to notice, but now that the adrenaline is crashing, he realizes the truth. He just rescued a certified 10 out of 10. His heart starts pounding louder than the actual boss battle. The man is losing it. In his head, he is running the calculations and she has the halo, the wings, the whole angelic setup. He is literally crying tears of joy just looking at her. So much for the tough guy act. That thing is deleted. She says he saved her life and he tries to play it cool. But then his big brother instincts hijack his central nervous system. He reaches out and pats her head like she is one of his little sisters. Critical error. The nostalgia hits for a split second before the panic sets in. He yanks his hand back and screams an apology like he just touched a hot stove. They are both flailing around in a cringe spiral until they realize they have not even introduced themselves yet. She introduces herself properly this time. He gets way too hyped about her name, then immediately ruins the vibe by trauma dumping about getting disowned by the Amagasaki family yesterday. Great icebreaker genius. You really nailed that one. He tries to correct his last name, but his stomach interrupts with the roar of a raid boss. He admits he has been surviving on nothing but sad nutrient jelly, and Himeji looks at him like he is a tragic puppy that needs saving. She sees her chance. She insists on repaying his kindness, probably just to make sure he does not starve before the next plot point.